Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad RAFID bin Abdul RAZAK, and today I will present my mini project ECG 2C3. First, we have the above content. Okay, 01 is introduction. We have 02 methodology, 03 finding, 04 discussion, 05 conclusion, and 06 reference. Okay, for the introduction, student required to conduct a soil classification projects based on the basic fundamental concept of the soil. The experiment must be comply every single concept to verify the task. For the methodology, we have water contents, particle density, particle size grading and texture, density testing, and permeability testing. Okay, for the first is water content. Okay, apparatus we have soil sample, glass container, scales, and the procedure is first we make the empty container as M1. Next, we put the wet soil sample into the glass container and weight the container with a sample as a M2. And next, we let the soil under the sun for 5 hours, and we weight the sample with a container again, act as M3. And the end, we tabulate and calculate the moisture content of the soil. And for finding, yes, the result is M1 is 340 gram, M2 is 390 gram, M3 is 375, and then M2 minus M3 we get 15, M3 minus M1 we get 40, and the moisture content is 37.5%. Okay, for the next is particle density. Apparatus is soil sample, water container with lid, and the scale. For the procedure, first we weight the empty container with lid as W1. Second, we put some soil sample into the container and weight again as W2. Next, we put the water inside the container until the water become half. And number 4, we let the container with the out sample under the sunlight for 5 hours. After that, we fill the water into the container again until it full as the W3, and we wake another container with full of water as W4. And as you can see, the result is W1 is 5 gram, W2 15 gram, W3 is 90 gram, W4 75 gram, W2 minus W1 10 gram, W3 minus W2 75 gram, W4 minus W1 70 gram, and the particle density is 2 gram centimeter per cube. Next is particle size grading and texture. As the apparatus, we have soil sample, water, container, paper cone, and the ruler. For the procedure, first we put the paper cone at the top of the container. Second, we put the soil sample into the container through the paper cone. And third, we fill the container with the sample until it reach half of container. Next, we measure the height of soil sample, and we fill the container with water until it's full. And next, we close the lid and shake the container until the water and soil is mixed well, and we leave the sample for 5 hours, and we measure the height of the soil sample and the water level. As a result, height of the soil sample after 5 hours is 4.3 cm, Height of water after 5 hours is 5.7 cm. Height of the soil before is 5 cm, and total height of the mixture is 10 cm. For the density test, the apparatus is soil sample, container, scale and ruler. Okay, the procedure is first we shape the soil with the molds at the soil surface, and next we weight the soil from the mold and calculate the volume of the mold. And number 4, calculate the moisture content of the soil, and number 5, we calculate the dry density. For the permeability test, the apparatus is first soil sample, water, container, filter and stopwatch. And for the procedure, first we put the soil sample into the water filter, and then we put the water into the filter and start a stopwatch, and we will alter the water soak into the soil. And after that, we stop the stopwatch when no longer dripping from the filter, water dripping from the filter, and then we take the height of water that have been filled into the container. As a result, time taken for the water stop dripping is 50 minutes, and the type soil used is fine soil. Color of the soil brown and black. Texture of soil is clay. For the discussion, first, to ensure the experiment going successfully, some precautions need to follow. First, we use the safe and right equipment to prevent any dangerous accident. Second, when drying the soil, please make sure that the soil is perfectly dry. And third, make sure the time used for each experiment more or right on the time to get a better result. For the water content experiment, the moisture content from the experiment is 25%. That show up the soil sample is used is clay. For the particle density experiment, the value particle density is 2 gram per centimeter cube. For the particle size grading and texture experiment, the height of the soil after 5 hours is 4.3 cm. For the density testing experiment, the dry density of the soil is 1374 kg per meter cube. And for the permeability test experiment, the time taken for the water stop dripping is 50 minutes. For the conclusion, this stuff help understudy to know the information how to learn a RAS trial to take care of design issue with appropriate response of limit. Understudy additionally can decide the solver for each fundamental idea that expressed in the inquiry. The consequence of examination depends on the soil sample utilized. Furthermore, the manner in which the test is directed. For the references, this is the reference that I use, and another one is the video that shared by the lecturer. That's all from me. Thank you.